Hey everyone, Andrew here with ACR Protect. Thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to talk about when we've made the decision to purchase a firearm for personal protection, some of the costs and equipment that is associated with that. I'm going to preface this by saying this is my opinion. Some of you may agree with this, some of you may not, but this is just what I feel goes into it, because if you're looking to go pick up a firearm, you don't really know what you're getting into. You don't know how much you're going to spend. I know money's tight for a lot of folks, and you can't just drop a ton of money. And so knowing what you may need to have saved aside to do this could be helpful to some of you. For those of you already well-versed in the firearm community, this may not be the video for you. That's okay. It's okay. But before we go to the desktop here and look what I have laid out, the first thing before we get into any equipment or firearms or anything else, the first thing we need is training and knowledge. Now, that could be attending a formal training session. Maybe some of you are former or current military or police, and you've had training through those avenues. It's great. Some of you may have grown up with firearms your whole life and have learned from family members and loved ones and friends about proper usage and safe handling and techniques and stuff like that, and that's great. And I don't care how you get your training to a certain extent, but make sure the people that you're getting it from have the knowledge to teach you properly. Because again, there's a lot of people out there that think they know what they're talking about and they don't. And I'm not trying to pick on anyone. I'm just saying, you don't know what you don't know. And if you've been taught bad practices and you pass those on, you're just teaching garbage. So make sure. Along with that, we're working on specifically handguns for personal protection, for concealed carry. So another avenue of that training is, again, looking into your state and local laws for what is required to do that. Some places, it's as simple as a nominal amount of money, a photo ID, and you're good. Other places are more extensive. And some places, sadly, it's damn near impossible to get that for personal carry, for concealed carry. Those of you that can carry, have firearms at your house for home defense, this kind of ties into that a little bit. We're kind of going over a broad version. We're not really going to dive into anything specifically today. Just a general conversation and a look at some things that I feel you should have when you're going in to make this investment. But again, first thing before you do this is the training. Get some training. Go make sure that this is what you want to do. I'm a pro-gun guy. I think a lot of us in this community are. But some people they don't want to do that. They don't want to carry a gun. Maybe they want to carry a pepper spray or something like that, and that's okay. But the training will let you know if you go and you want to do this. Going through the training will help you make that final decision if you want to do this. So training first. I can't emphasize that enough. So we'll bring it down to the tabletop here, and we'll take a look at some of this stuff and go from there. Stand by one. All right. Well, as you can see, we have two different setups, loadouts, whatever you want to call it. This isn't like a show and tell. Going back to talking about the training, one thing that'll help with that training will help you determine what type of firearm works best for you. There's a lot of calibers out there. There's a lot of different manufacturers, and I'm not trying to push one way or another. You really need to get what works best for you. And any good instructor will say that. They'll say, hey, let's try some stuff out. I think the the biggest factor is you want something that's reliable, you know, which kind of ties into a reputable manufacturer. But budget has a lot to do with it, and you'll see that when we kind of tally up some of these numbers. So don't get so hung up on the two different firearms that are on the table as much as the variations of cost that you can spend. Again, I like a lot of different things. Y'all know I'm a Glock guy. That's kind of my go-to. But there's a lot of other good stuff out there: SIG and Smith & Wesson and Kimber and Springfield and a handful of others. So first thing I want to talk about is safety. Some of you may be in, maybe single and have no one in your house, and there's no worries about where your firearm is stored. That's okay. Some of you may have kids or may have people coming in and out of your house where you don't want someone to have immediate access to your firearm. So that's why I threw this little safe in here as an example. This is not an expensive safe. I think I got this one many years ago at Harbor Freight. It's approximately $30. It has a little digital keypad. It also has a little backup key. Is this necessarily a quick access safe? No. Can you get to it pretty quick? Yeah. Am I saying that you can't steal anything from this safe or what? No. It's a safe that does have the mounting brackets where you can mount it to a piece of furniture or a floor or wall or whatever. You can do that if you want to, whatever works for you. But having a way to be a responsible firearms owner and securing your stuff. You shouldn't have firearms laying around. If you have people around that may not have the same knowledge you do and can access them. I have kids. I've mentioned that. They have been trained. They're sharp. They're smart kids. Still, I lock my stuff up. Why not err on the side of caution? That's just me, But I think if you're making this decision to carry a firearm and house one in your house or multiple ones, it's a good idea to have a way to secure it. So this is for everybody, right? That's something I think you need to put into play when you're thinking about making this purchase. Now you can go way more expensive. I have some quick access ones. Some of them are biometric, and they mount on like nightstands or on the side of your bed or whatever. And they're not they're more expensive than that. That you can get those from anywhere from $75 to $150. Again, if you want a way to secure a firearm and have pretty quick access to it, it's a way to go. You can go on Amazon and play around and just search safes, and you can find a whole bunch of stuff. Next is ammunition up here at the top. Now I threw in a box of this bulk range ammo, and then on top of it, you can kind of see it. I didn't have any boxes laying around of personal defense ammo, but I just have this here as a reference. You're gonna need ammunition. We talked about training. You're gonna wanna train, you're gonna wanna practice. I did some research on the ammunition. Right now, the bulk pack of that ammunition is running about $82 for 250 rounds of 9mm. Obviously, that cost varies depending on the ammunition you choose to use. Safe to say, the more you buy, the bigger bulk you buy, the better price per round you can get. But I also know it's expensive. Some people aren't able to go buy thousands of rounds at a time. I get it. So you got to have your training ammo. And again, whatever you feel. So, some people want to have extra training ammo at the house, so when they go to the range, they've got it. Usually cheaper to buy at other places than the gun range. Usually they're a little more expensive. Now the personal defense ammo, the duty ammo as I call it. The stuff I'm talking about right now is the Hornady Critical Defense. As many of you know, it's significantly more expensive per round, per box. Just doing a quick search, I did the ammo search on budsguns.com to give you a reference point. The Critical Defense is running about $20 for a box of 20, so about $1 a round. And again, you know, it's important to have that. If you're going to carry, I think you should have the duty ammo as well. Moving on, the next thing that I think is important, that's on everyday aspect, but especially if you're carrying a firearm, and this again goes between whatever you're choosing to carry. A flashlight. Now, some people may choose to do a weapons mounted light on their firearm. That's okay, that's your choice. You know, one of the downsides with that is to illuminate something, you have to point your firearm at it. Not saying that's a bad thing necessarily, I'm just saying it may also be good to have a secondary light to illuminate stuff. One, to misdirect possibly your position, and two, if you want to light something up without having to point a firearm at it. This is one of my everyday carries. This is a Streamlight ProTac 2. There's a ton of different flashlights out there. Different price ranges, different manufacturers, you know, rechargeable, battery operated, whatever. Ton of them out there. But being able to illuminate and see what your target is and where you are, daytime and nighttime, you've got, it's important to have a light on you. It's just good. You go into a building that's dark, even if it's the middle of the day, nice being able to see what's what. That flashlight in particular is running about $48 for the one that runs on the 1, 2, 3 batteries, the little camera batteries, and the rechargeable version's about $62. Just to give you a reference point, you can spend less or you can spend more, but that just kind of gives you a ballpark on some of the cost for a decent flashlight, a well-made flashlight that's gonna last. And again, you can see mine's worn. I use it all the time, so I think that's important. All right, so now some of the fun stuff. I have 2 firearms laid out here. The one on the left, this is a Taurus G2C in 9mm. This is a Glock Model 45 in 9mm. Both of them are cleared. Just to make sure all the haters know, nothing in them. Magazines are empty, as you can see. All right, keeping things safe here. All right, 2 different firearms, 2 different price points. All right, but some of the things that do intertwine between the 2 firearms, if you decide you're going to conceal carry and carry a firearm on your person, you need to have a way to do it. You need to have a holster. This is another thing, just like the flashlights, you can spend as much or as little as you want. Sometimes it's kind of a trial and error. This holster right here is just a basic inside the waistband Kydex plastic holster, about 25 bucks. And that's whether you're getting it for this one, for the G2C, or for a Glock, or for a Smith & Wesson, they're about 25 bucks. This style right here is an outside the waistband. This is made by Phobos. I've had these for, oh God, over 20 years I've used this style. They're pretty slick. The paddle slides inside your waistband. It doesn't have, you know, belt loops or anything. Some people like these, some people don't. You know, I'm just trying to give you some examples. Some people don't like carrying inside the waistband. Some people do. I used to hate it. I used to have an outside the waistband holster for a long time. And then I finally made the move to an inside the waistband holster. I just wanted a little more concealment ability, and you get used to it. It's just, but it takes time. It takes practice, takes training. Got to use it, got to wear it, all that jazz. But those Phobos holsters are running about, this is on Amazon, about $32 for those. And that's, again, whether you're getting it for a Glock or a Smith & Wesson or Kimber or whatever, they're about 32 bucks. Next, magazines and the way to carry magazines. Couple different options here. We'll go back to the Phobos one here. Same type of design, outside the waistband. Just slips on, gives the ability to carry two extra mags of varying size. It's pretty handy. Again, it's outside the waistband if that's what you choose to do. This one right here is a soft, padded inside the waistband holster, or I'm sorry, magazine pouch. It's a universal. They're okay. It is kind of a pain in the ass trying to put the magazines back in there, especially if it's on your person, you know. It's a single as opposed to that one being a double. Here's another option. Again, it has a little clip, so it could go inside or outside the waistband, kind of depending on how you want to do it. It's universal. You can adjust this little piece right here to adjust the tension. Again, another way to carry your spare ammo. As far as magazines, I think it's in your best interest to have a minimum of 3 magazines. A minimum. I think you should have more, but I think you should have a minimum of 3 magazines. Now, when you buy a firearm such as a Glock, most of the time, if you're buying a brand new Glock, they come with 3 magazines. That's standard. A lot of firearms do not. For example, the G2C here came with 2. So to meet the standard or what I think you should have, had to buy another magazine. Magazines for the G2C are surprisingly expensive. I'm a little disappointed in the price, but they are running about $32 for a 12-round magazine. I've been told you can get a 6-hour P226 magazine or clone that'll fit in there and give you a little more ammunition in your mag. I kind of just like the 12-round ones. Palmetto State Armory one time had these on sale for like 10 bucks, and I picked up quite a few, so I'd have the extras. Again, an awesome gun. A lot of people knock Taurus. It's okay, as if it's not your thing. Lemons are everywhere, you know. Cars, guns, whatever. I've talked to some people that hate Taurus. I honestly think they've come a long way. I think their stuff's pretty good, and it's affordable. So going over to the Glock mags, nice thing about Glock, and again, I know I started this by saying that, oh, it's not, you know, trying to pressure anyone into any choices. When you pick up a firearm, the more popular the firearm is, the easier it is to get stuff for it. For finding holsters. If you have a weapons mounted light for your firearm, specifically a Glock, and if it's a fairly popular light brand such as Streamlight, it's gonna be easier to find more customized holsters inside the waistband holsters that also accommodate the light, stuff like that. It's easier to find when it's a gun manufacturer that's pretty popular. I've talked about them before. These are the Magpul 9mm Glock mags. This is a 21 rounder. I'm telling you, I love these things. They are great. The factory mags for Glocks typically run about 30 bucks. Nothing wrong with them. I have them. I use them. They run great. But, you know, and again, this is a 21 round version. I bought this locally at a place, and it was about 19 bucks for a 21 rounder. The 17 and 15 round magazines range between like 12 and 15. So literally half the cost, and they run really well. I like them. I'm a big fan of those. You know, you can buy more. Essentially, you can buy 2 for the price of one of the Glock mags. However, if you're a purist and you want just Glock mags, hey, you do you. I support it. But I am a fan of that, and it's easier to find stuff for the Glock. It's a little trickier for this, for the G2C. There's a couple places out there that do have some stuff specifically for it. Price as pictured. So G2C right now on Bud's Guns is running about $215 after a rebate. Pretty good. I think when I got mine many years ago, I got it for under $200 after the mail-in rebate. These things were flying off the shelves. Very popular, but you know, between $200 and $230, depending on where you're shopping around, depending on when you watch this video, is the approximate price. As opposed to the Glock Model 45, which mine has the Ameriglow night sights on it, is coming in at approximately $540 on Bud's Guns, just to give you an idea. Now, if we tally up the common stuff between the firearms, that being the safe, the ammo, and the flashlight, right? That comes out to about $222. The holster, I kind of split the difference. I just said $30, right? Whatever holster you're getting, you can, now, it's kind of a minimum. You can spend more, but about 30 bucks. And then mag pouches, again, I did the average. The Phobos one comes in at about 22 to 24. These are about $14 for 2, and those are about $18 for 2. So I just said 20 bucks. So for a total of your auxiliary equipment, $272, right? If you did the same setup with the Glock over here, all right, you're looking at about $812. If you do the setup with the Taurus, about $517. I would make it safe and round up to the nearest 100. So 900 for the Glock setup and about 600 for the Taurus. Just to kind of, again, this is to give you an idea. You know, you think, oh, I'm going to go buy a gun. Oh, here's a gun for 200 bucks. I'm good to go. No, you need more stuff. Same with the Glock, and this isn't including the training. Training can add up significantly more depending on your state. The cost for your concealed handgun license and classes for that can range up to a couple $100. Some of the professional training that you may take, some of these shooting classes that are really good. There's some places that put on some really good stuff to give you a good baseline on some training. Several $100s, into the thousands, depending on where you go. But do your research and find out, you know, before you go spending that money. But just entry level to get in, you know, just to get the firearm and some of the gear, is between $500 and $1,000. Which, you know, that can be a lot of money for folks. And again, the cost of that can go up depending on the firearm. So that's all. That is today's video. Again, just what I'm trying to do with this channel is encourage people to work on their personal protection along with their family's protection, and we're going to do it in baby steps. So those of you that have a wealth of gun knowledge, I apologize if you feel like this wasted your time. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to bring the group up together. so that we can all build up from there. So thanks for your time. I'd love to hear some of the comments, what you choose to carry, what you're looking at. You know, the group can help each other. Someone may be looking at purchasing a specific firearm, and maybe there's some feedback that you can get on that from myself or anybody else that chooses to make a comment. So thank you all for your time and your support, and my best to you and your families. Until next time, take care.